Okay, so this is a quick start guide to the Twitchboard from Jekyll Labs. And so it's a much simpler board than the Twitch and Howl board, and smaller as well, better form factor. It really only has a couple of bits and pieces that you need to know about. So first off is power. So you can see that on the left we have the positive and negative for 12 volt power in, and on the right we have the positive and negatives for 12 volts out. It's important not to mix up any of these, as there is no reverse polarity protection, and so you don't want to fry your board. Other things that are notable on this board is there's a potentiometer. This potentiometer is adjustable with a small Phillips head screwdriver, so you can dial it back and forth and pay attention to sort of one of the ends of the cross, and that can kind of tell you where you are in the scale of things. As you turn more and more to the right, so clockwise, events become more and more frequent, to the point where if you turn it all the way right, it's just continuously on. If you turn it to the left, events become less and less frequent, to the point where it's essentially off, only producing one event an hour or so. The last thing to sort of know about the board is up at the top there are 3 pins, and this is to put it into triggered mode. So there's a ground pin, a 5 volt pin, and a sensor pin. Anytime the 5 volt and the sensor are connected together, so you get 5 volt signal back down on that sensor line, the board goes into triggered mode, which means that it just produces events at a fairly rapid pace. That can be done with a PIR sensor, or as I'll be doing in this case, with just a standard button. Note that I only have the 5 volt and the sensor lines hooked up for the button, and so I'll be able to set that into triggered mode with that. Also, there's LEDs at the top, which will light up if it's in triggered mode, and also every time the board's sending an event. And so let's just go ahead and get things put together. Now you can see that it's off for a random period of time, and then it'll turn back on, and it's set now to run for about 3 to 5 seconds when it's in the on position, and then it'll turn back off again for a variable period of time. And if you're looking to have it rotate more, have more frequent events, you can adjust that just to the right a little bit. You sort of have this sitting off in a corner of your haunt so that it will periodically trigger and move enough that somebody will look and say, hey, is that thing moving? And then the other option, as I said, is to have a button or PIR hooked up. And so you pay attention, making sure that you have the sensor plug on the far, or the sensor on the far right. Now if you wanted to, you could turn the frequency way down, so it'll almost never go off, except when you push the button. And there you go. Now I'm gonna make something awesome.